President Donald Trump and his chief allies in Congress exploring ways right now to pay for that 2,000-mile border wall in the event that Mexico continues to refuse to pay, including, of course, that 20% tariff we heard about yesterday. But what about a border adjustment tax? The man who helped craft that tax and has been trying to sell it to the administration joins us now. Ways and Means Committee Chairman, Congressman Kevin Brady. Congressman Brady, thank you so much for taking out the time.
Charles, thanks for having me.
If you can, because I know that the terms they use interchangeable, border tax and border adjustment tax, but aren't they two separate things?
Well, thank you for saying that. You're one of the few. At this case, there's a lot of confusion because people are mixing up border adjustability, which is a tax reform approach that every country uses but us, in border taxes and tariffs. So we're getting tax issues and trade issues intermingled, and I think this Mexico wall funding is the perfect example of it.
So tell us the benefits, because I know there was a point maybe a week ago or so where President Trump said it was complicated. I looked at the schematic of how it would be played out. I don't know that to an actuary or an accountant or to some corporation it would be complicated, but I think to the average person trying to figure it out, maybe.
Actually, well, on the surface, but it's actually simple and powerful. So we're proposing a tax code built for growth, jobs, wages in the U.S. economy, and doing that, leapfrog America back into the lead pack as some of the best place on the planet for that next new job or that next new research. And so we're proposing something very simple, and it's this. If your product or service is consumed in the U.S., it's taxed at the equal rate of 20%. So whether it is coming from a foreign country or made in America, whether it's from a foreign company or an American company, it will be taxed exactly the same. So it is a powerful approach, and what it does is that it mirrors what our competitors, China, Europe, and yes, Mexico does. They border adjust their taxes. They take their VAT tax off that Chinese product headed our direction. They put it on our American product headed their direction. We're one of the few countries that doesn't do that. So today, they have a tax advantage. Chinese steel is favored over American steel. Mexican beef and autos, for example, have a tax advantage over American beef and autos. Foreign oil over U.S. oil. So our approach, which is if it is consumed in the U.S., it will be taxed at exactly the same rate. One creates a level playing field for the first time for made in America products, so you'll see true competition. It allows us to simplify the code, but here's maybe the most important point. It eliminates just that equal taxation, eliminates any tax incentives for U.S. companies to move their jobs, their research, or their headquarters overseas. In fact, just the opposite. It really establishes America as a 21st century magnet for new business investment. So it is a simple principle, but it's powerful in its impact.
Right, and just to remind the audience, for instance, if General Motors moves a plant to Mexico, there is a 16% value-added tax that's removed once they export products back, essentially duty-free. What about this one small thing I'm really concerned about, and that's dumping. You talked about steel. Listen, I think some of these countries, particularly when these industries are subsidized, they don't care if they're losing money on it as long as they can produce the products, create some jobs at home, even if it's something at a loss. So you would still need to be able maybe to have selective tariffs or sanctions on specific countries and or products, wouldn't you?
Yes, and you have to enforce the trade rules that are in place. Certainly, that's not on the tax side, on the trade side, but it is about leveling the playing field. Certainly, President Trump is an enforcement-first type of president in trade. The good news is House and Senate earlier last year, led by the Ways and Means Committee, we gave the new president new enforcement tools to insist that China, Mexico, Europe, Canada, others play by the same trading rules. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the president uses those newfound powers to level the playing field.
Congressman Brady, I got to tell you, it sounds so much, it sounds great. It really does. It sounds like a major step in the right direction.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, I always think of a spotlight that covers the whole stage, and then it just focuses on one character. So in the tax code, we're taking this complicated international tax system, doing away with it and focusing it down on one country, ours, and asking a simple question: is it consumed, your product or service, in America? If so, it'll be taxed at the same rate. It is really not only a powerful principle, it levels the playing field, really creates America as a powerhouse, gets rid of a lot of this complicated tax code. So when people are talking about imports and exports and all that, at the end of the day, all we're proposing is equal taxation.
Well, you're going to get a lot of accountants upset. Congressman Brady, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time and the way you explained it for the audience. I think it was extraordinarily helpful. Thank you.